Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. So, we got the sun shining. We're gonna get ourselves our eggs here, and then we got some work to do once again. So, we got ourselves two fertilizing jobs we're gonna look at trying to do today. So we'll have to get into town and probably pick up some more fertilizer real quick. So, let's see what I want to take for that then. We'll take the flatbed truck, grab all the eggs up, and we'll head down to town. But what we got going on is the field, our second field. We already got that tested out, so that's what's new, guys. So yeah, I can be working while I'm talking, and got all that taken care of for the moment. Our grass field's finally starting to come in, so that's awfully nice. That's going to help us out here in a bit once we can start mowing it. Go ahead and pull up right about there. There we go. But yeah, grass field is slowly, ever so slowly coming in now. And chickens are laying pretty good at the moment, so that's kind of nice to see. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, so got the second field tested, so we are good to go on that. So what I'm thinking, I'm not probably going to plant today, probably plant another day, but we got the seed and stuff we already need. We're going to plant some wheat so that we can be able to use that to help feed the chickens and stuff. We also got some point today the surveyor is supposed to come by, survey everything once again, kind of find out where everything is, put down those little stakes and stuff, and be able to let us know where and where we can't build on the property. So that's going to be pretty helpful here. Also got my pressure washer picked up, so that's nice. So while we were gone, we got the pressure washer picked up. We also got that tree job done as well. So that's been pretty good. Let's see, I can luckily take this, pick up some of that fertilizer while we're at the store, so that'll work out good, and then I don't have to drive the tractor all the way down there. Yeah, we'll get, oh, that's gonna fall off. Yep, we'll get down into town, drop off all our eggs here, and pick me up a coffee. Oh boy. And then we should be able to get some work done. So, and as I said, we got plenty of seeds, so we'll see if anybody has any seeding jobs as well. I don't think anybody has that right now. I think they're all working on baiting for the moment, so well, let's get into town, drop off our eggs, and then we'll go pick up some fertilizer for our job. But I can tell you right now, once we get a house built, I'm going to enjoy laying in a real bit. I guess I could have stayed at the hotel, but that would have been kind of expensive, and I already got the trailer and stuff, so might as well use that, honestly. But yeah, luckily the second field is much better than the first one. We only had to put down a little bit of lime, so luckily that's working out really good. And we'll have to kind of wait and see how the crop goes in. So we'll kind of wait until we get some of the permitting for the buildings and stuff done, and then we'll kind of know what we can do, because I want to be able to have at least a small silo to be able to hold the wheat initially. So we'll see how all that goes, but that's my plan for the moment. Wrong street. Right street. Oh boy. Alright, it's not too bad. Made about 2,800 on the eggs this morning, so egg prices keep going up, but kind of nice to have that consistent income with the eggs and stuff. So right over here, this is the property we did some clearing, so a lot of the big trees we went out and thinned out through here, so you can see that it looks a lot better already, so we did take care of that. But yeah, got a little bit of money from that, not a whole lot, but it was a pretty good job. Alright, so let's go pick up ourselves some fertilizer here, and then we'll get it loaded up on the truck and take it on back to the tractor, and we'll go fertilize some fields here in a bit. Yeah, guys, it's amazing how well this old truck handles. I mean, it is like really good. One thing I have noticed is that I probably need to get this thing repainted just a bit, just because it's getting a little bit of rust on it. But other than that, it is definitely a very nice truck. So, one other thing too is that I'm looking at potentially I'm going to sell both of these trucks potentially as well. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of different financial things. If I have to sell them, get something new, then I can kind of, I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of weird financial things that I'm hearing about and stuff, and so there's a lot that I could potentially do to get that all done. So let's fill up on this fertilizer here, though. Alright, so got that warming up here for a second. So let's take a look at the grass field real quick. So right on over here, you can see it's starting to come in real nice. So technically we'll probably be able to do a little overlap with some of the grass that's already here, be able to mow some of this a little bit extra. But yeah, it's coming in pretty good, so definitely like how I see that. So we got the mower already, so we can stop mowing basically whenever we want. We're just gonna have to get that that forage wagon thing to be able to pick up the grass clippings afterwards, and then be able to drop those off and sell them and stuff. So alrighty, let's drive on out and go get ourselves a fertilizing job done. Alright, so I'll pop up the map here. So currently we are on our way to field 14. So that's where we're going to be going to fertilize. And once we get there, we'll be able to drive up the road just a bit to our next field, which should be field 25 or 26. I forget exactly. I'll double check before we get there, but yeah, that's going to be where we're going to be fertilizing today. As I said, we got the surveyors coming, so they'll let us know when and where we can start building and stuff. Then we can hopefully get some permits done as well. But yeah, we're going to head on out to field 14, then head up to field 25, and we'll see what kind of work we can get done. Go ahead and get this thing all nice and pressure washed off here, because they picked up a lot of grime and stuff out in those fields. So go ahead and get it nice pressure washed here. Make it look a little bit cleaner. Yep, that fertilizer got real muddy. Look at that. Get that all nice and cleaned up. Yeah, that looks much better. There we go. Looks good. And all these other tools needed a good pressure washing as well. It's pretty nasty. Also too, if I'm going to end up returning this John Deere, I need to make sure it's cleaned up here as well. Actually, it is a 4440. I was thinking it was a 4240 for whatever reason. There we go. That looks pretty clean. Go ahead and get our little plow installed there as well. So as you can see, I mean, we kind of need a dedicated indoor shed to keep some of this stuff. Certainly we all have to keep it all out here in the open for the most part. So that's one thing I've got to look at. So get this all nice and cleaned up here. Looks good. Alright, we'll roll this on back on over. There we go. Go ahead and load up the last of the fertilizer into the fertilizer here. Make sure that's all done. There we go. We are ready for our next fertilizing job, whenever and wherever that may be. So just go ahead and pull this up right here, and we are good. So let me check on the chickens here. So, yep, they're almost out of feed, so that once they get to there, we'll be able to, oh, I need to turn off my lights. There we go. We'll be able to put in the body that we went ahead and bought for them. So far, this has ended up being a really good deal on what we paid for this stuff. They've made a serious mess, so let's get that cleaned up here. So get this all nice and cleaned up. We'll go ahead and put the excess stuff that we have over into here for the moment. Get that all nice and cleaned up and stuff. There we go. There we go. That'll work. Let's see. So they're just about out. Let me check here the food status here. So, of course. So we got the chickens in this pin information. Cleanliness is doing good. The wheat and barley there. So second coop right here, this is almost out. So once they get that out, then we can put in the barley and let them start eating that. So they're almost finished with all of that. And then these guys will take a little bit longer, but they'll get through that food as well. So once they do that, we'll be able to refill them on food, and we'll see how they work with that stuff. But so far, they've been doing really, really good. So grass field has come in very nicely. Look at this. And so we'll be ready to start doing some mowing in the future. So that's pretty cool. So nice to see. I might have to do a little bit more of a distinctive border just in case in the future, just so we know exactly where the field starts and ends. But for right now, we'll just use the excess grass at the moment. So that looks pretty good. Alrighty, so let's look at what the surveyor gave us to look at here, and we'll kind of get an idea of what my lights are still on. Okay, well, let's turn those off. Nope, they're still on. Lights are just staying on for whatever reason. That's weird. Don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, lights are stuck on. Okay, well, that's going to run down the battery, which won't be good. So we'll have to take a look at that here in a second. But yeah, let's take a look at the notes the surveyor gave us here. Alright, so obviously we got ourselves 2 chicken pins here. One thing that we can do is we do have this space over here that we can use to potentially build a new chicken pen that will be much larger. We can take out this tree and take out some of these trees along here if we needed to, so that's always a option. One thing that he did note is our septic system is right here, actually underneath the windmill, so that's kind of odd, but that's where it is. And then all the way to about this tree right about here is where we can work. So just along this line right here is where we're able to build stuff and be able to put stuff out. So house, sheds, etc. potentially out here is what we're looking at, and then be able to take down potentially this shed, put up a enclosed shed over here potentially for storage. Might be something that we can do as well. So that's one thing we're looking at. So be able to bring the drive straight on through here, be able to have like maybe a little court area type thing, or basically a giant parking lot, to be able to work on the equipment, pressure wash and stuff, and be able to have the sheds and stuff for that over on this side potentially, because our turn off, our easement basically is right about, it's basically to the tree line is how far we can work, right around there basically. So that's kind of how that works. So bring the thing straight on through, have a bunch of extra pavement and stuff through here to be able to work on equipment right along that area, and then be able to have the house right about here potentially, right in this area here, and then be able to have brand new enclosed chicken coops and stuff right in through here potentially. So our field easement, because we don't want to put stuff too close to the field, just because if we decide to change crops at some point, that won't work out too well. So basically our American flag is basically our marker for our easement right along here. So that's kind of how much space we have. We can probably go a little further back if we needed to, but that's kind of how that is. And then of course too, if we decided to put the money into building a new chicken coop, then we would put it all right around in here, and potentially then have these removed, be able to build out this way a little bit, so potentially go long ways versus up and down like this. So that's one thing we can do right now. So definitely a lot to look at. One thing for sure we do is work on the landscaping, because as you can see we just got grass and stuff everywhere popping up with weeds and whatnot, and to be able to take care of that and be able to make that look a little bit cleaner would probably be very helpful. So that's another thing to look at. So house right about out here potentially, be able to have the sheds and stuff for the equipment along this line to some extent, but we'll have to see what we can do in the future. So that's what we're looking at anyways, guys. So we're gonna have to see how the permitting goes. We got to get the permits pulled, and then I got to get contractors, that and the other done. So that's kind of what we're looking at for the house and stuff at the moment. So luckily we have plenty of seed to be able to get our wheat field seeded down there. The biggest thing is once we start that, I probably am going to have to get a brand new tractor to be able to do stuff on that field later on, so be able to switch over to all-wheel drive versus currently only two-wheel drive would be very helpful on that hill. And then be able to lease or just borrow a combine to be able to harvest that. So there's a lot of stuff to think about, because I mean, how far do I actually want to invest to take the operation, I guess is the question. So we'll have to look at that, but luckily still have the skid steer here to be able to work on trees, because one thing we probably need to do is take out this tree, potentially this tree and that tree right there, just to get us a little bit closer to the tree line so we don't have any issues with the trees later on. I don't think there's any other real trees that are a problem for possible build plans anyways, other than this little tree here we might take out. right along here, as I said, might be able to do some tree thinning along here just to get some of this excess overgrowth taken out, because it is, honestly, it's kind of nasty looking, and be able to clean this up, make this look just a little bit better. The one thing I do have a concern with about that, though, is, I mean, right now you have this beautiful curtain right now at the moment that kind of shutters off the farm, which is kind of nice, because obviously the fence isn't along the entire property, it just ends about right here. So having this along here is actually kind of nice, but also that doesn't really help the field health long term. So potential. Then of course, there's always resale to think about too, because if I can get this all as an operating farm with a field on property, be able to resell that then and be able to walk away with a profit potentially. So I don't know, there's a lot to consider, but I mean, you can see, and this is just, it does look pretty overgrown and nasty, honestly. So being able to go through there and possibly get that cleaned up could possibly be a good thing to do. And then through here could honestly use a bit of a cleanup as well, just kind of take us from, because right now I think we got like two rows of trees to some extent. Maybe just take it down to one row of trees, clean out these bushes, and be able to have a little bit cleaner, or potentially take out all the trees and be able to combine the entire grass field. I mean, there's a few different options we can go. So what I want to do for the moment, though, I think we'll start growing some wheat, be able to work on from there to be able to feed the chickens with our own crop, and go on from there instead of having to constantly go and buy new crop and new feed for the chickens. I think that might be helpful. So I don't know, a lot to think about, a lot to look at, but it's definitely doable and definitely workable. We just gotta watch the finances, and luckily we do have grass now, so we can start working on that. Hopefully, I'm not sure, let's see, might give it one more day of growth, but I think we might be able to start cutting it. We could probably cut it today if we really wanted to, but I'm not going to do that right now, but we'll probably work on that maybe tomorrow or something. But yeah, lot to do, lot to work on, and we'll have to see what we do. If you have any thoughts on potential builds or potential stuff we could do configuration wise, let me know. But yeah, we got a lot of work ahead of us either way. So, and also, I mean, you can see this too, is that the chicken coops are kind of getting, they were overrun when we got here, but there's still kind of, we got the rooster coming over to say hi. Hi, buddy. It's still pretty overgrown as well, so I don't know. Lots to look at, lots to work on. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That's going to do us for today, but yeah, we're going to be hopefully getting some more work done on the farm here soon. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and we'll see you guys here next time. Bye-bye.